Hello and good afternoon. This is Mike EF4BOG here. And as you know, I started my podcast over again, and I had to figure out how I was going to do it because Anchor.com was bought out by Spotify. I think it was a few years ago or something like that. And I had put off, doing my podcast for about a year or so. I just kinda stopped doing it for a year or 2. I think it was like a year, 2 years, something like that. Because I look at the chart from when I last started doing a podcast, and it was quite some time ago. Because I look back at it, and the last podcast that I actually did was in, um, 2023. So I kind of let it go for about because I stopped in August. It was like a day of a ham fest and stuff like that, and that was kind of when I stopped doing it for a while, and I let it go um, after that, and just kind of I don't know, something clicked in me to start doing it again. And I figured I would go ahead and start doing it. And during that time, when I was not doing it, they were sending me things via email saying that Anchor .fm was bought out by Spotify. And you basically, if you wanted to retrieve your podcast data from Anchor, you had to go through a process, and I wasn't aware of that process um, and everything. And so then I finally decided to get back into podcasting again, which was really something that I needed to do. Um, and with the support of my girlfriend and many people, I decided to go ahead and do my podcast again. So um, today, I want to show you the tools that I use and how I use it so that you'll be ready to go and get started. So, let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay, so here we have the tools that I use. This is the new dashboard uh, that they've set up. Basically, Spotify set this up to import your podcast from another service. It was kind of interesting in a way because you had to look for the RSS feed code that was generated with the other hosting provider, and you had to go in there and you had to basically uh, get that feed URL, and you use that to import all your podcasts over from one system to the other. And because I have so many episodes, as they like to call them, because I had so many of them, it took about, oh, I should say what, 24, 48 hours maybe for the episodes to load because there were so many of them. And I had to basically wait it out. I tried several different podcasting systems. Like I looked at Podbean, which was another one. I looked at Podbean and I thought, okay, is Podbean any good? Looked at it, um, was not really impressed. I mean, yeah, you can look at Podbean, you can look at several other ones, and they all have their quirks. Like every one of them has pros and cons, so you could actually look at them to see what what is right for you. Uh, the analytics is really good with this, and that's I think part of the reason why I went with um, the Spotify system is it actually tells you how many plays a podcast gets, and then it gives you the number of downloads that your stream has had. I remember just this one alone has already had 9 streams and downloads, so that's pretty good. Uh, so it's actually peaked a little bit, which was nice to see that since I had made my return to doing it. Um, the total all time is which is kind of interesting. It's 7,356 um, per episode. Average is 2. Audience size is usually about 1, which is what I expected for a small podcast of my type. It's not really that big, so I wasn't expecting that much. Now, many people ask me, well, with this new system, how do you load your podcast? So what I did was I actually went online and I did some research and I found that Adobe has a stream recorder that you can use if you have an Adobe account, and it's free, so you can go in. There's several options, but this one is actually a really good option to stream your recordings, and you could do multiple things. You could add multiple things to it. So, like, I could do an intro um, recording, I could do an intro type thing, and then I could add to it as I go along. So, it's kind of nice to have that. And then it automatically saves. So, let me show you that real quick. Go ahead and log in. Yeah, you do have to have an Adobe account to use the platform. Okay. So here is the um, Adobe platform. It kind of gives you um, a little beginner thing as to how the whole thing works. You can invite people to your project, which is really cool. So you can invite people to take part uh, in your project. So, like, say for example, I invite somebody else and they want to be able to take part in the podcast, I can invite them over, which is really nice. Um, and then to basically um, start a recording, you can click on start recording and it will bring up a dashboard for you so that you can go in and start a recording. Now, most people will probably say, well, where is the projects at? Well, these are all the projects um, that you can physically start. Um, there's like a welcome to Adobe podcast, which I don't need that. But these are my 2 projects that I had started so far. Um, and these were as of yesterday. So I tend to use this a lot because it will actually save a record of your previous podcasts. And if for some reason you have to go in and delete them, you can go in and delete them if you need to. But um, I don't need to delete them yet. They hadn't told me, hey, you got to delete these. So that's pretty cool that you don't have to do that. And then I guess we want to go ahead and create a project, for example. So, but um, I'm not really going to do it yet. I'm not really going to make a recording yet because usually I don't start recording my podcast till close to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But today, because I've got a practice today, I will probably do it a little bit earlier today because of that. So um, it's not quite time for me to do the recording yet because it's only 1:02. So I try to do the recordings um, right around 4, right around 4 o'clock or so is when I try to do each recording. So I try to make it exactly the same time frame and everything. And if I'm out somewhere, like if I'm out at a convention or something and I want to snatch some interviews to throw into the podcast later, I could do that too. Um, and that makes it even more nicer because I could take those video files and dump them into this. But let's show you the interface anyway. I'll go ahead and click on new project. Okay. And it's going to bring up this little dashboard for you so that you can do choices. You could basically say start a recording, invite guests to your recording, upload audio or video files. So if you have a video that you want to show, you could put that. You could upload the audio or video to your podcast, and it will. That's the one thing I've not tested yet. I've not tested to see if it actually, um, you know, how it could, how long it could be. According to this, it will allow projects up to 30 minutes long um, and download 2 projects per day. So, like, I don't really do that many. So, um, what they're offering here is actually pretty good because I don't do that many projects. So, it's kind of nice that they give you that stability for it. So I think that's why I went with this Adobe one because the 30 minutes is actually pretty good for a podcast recording. So that's actually pretty generous to think about it. So I recommend doing that. I recommend doing this to record your podcast. And then once you get it recorded, what you do is you go over and it will ask you after you've completed it, it will say, "Hey, do you want to download your podcast or your recording to a recorder?" And it will save it as an MP3 for you. Let me see if I've got the files that I did previously. I think I do. I think I have those files. Um, so let's see. Of course, you can't see it here, but I do have files that it saves. It actually does save the MP3, so you can go in and you can download the MP3 to the computer screen. And then once you get the MP3, to download the episode to your Spotify, what you do is you click on New Episode. Then once it pops up, and asks you, it will give you a recommendation. It will say create with Riverside, but the thing about Riverside is that they want you to download Chrome. Okay. Um, Not that I have anything against Chrome for podcasting. It's just that um, I prefer to use the browser that I use the most often. So I generally take the file and I click on select file, and it will open up a dialog which you can't see. It will open a spot for me to choose that file, and I can go in and choose that file. And once that file has been chosen, I can go ahead and upload it to the thing. It will ask me to give details about it, like put the information in about the podcast and then review it and then hit the publish button. And if you're already on Spotify, it will send a notification. I think it's within a few minutes of it being uploaded that it will send a notification to everybody's phone that's got notifications. Which, by the way, if you don't have notifications turned on to get my podcast, please do so. Please turn those notifications on. You could see the 2 episodes or the 2 podcasts that I did yesterday, and then you could see all the ones that I did from way back and everything. And they do go pretty way back though, because as you could see, I've got like, according to this, it says 792 episodes on file. So apparently, when I moved from Anchor to here, it took all of my episodes from one side over to the other. And if you got a bunch of them, yeah, it's gonna take a while. It will take a while because it's gonna have to go through and look at each individual one. So it's quite a deal. And you could see how long the length of the episode was like 5 minutes and 37 seconds or something like that. You can go in there and you could see streaming downloads was 2, Spotify plays was 1, so it actually tells you how many people have downloaded it, um, to replay it or whatever for later. So that's kinda nice that it has that. So, yeah, I've really gotten back into the podcast thing. Um, I'll still be doing this. I'll still be doing, um, the videos on YouTube, but this is kinda just the icing on the cake. So, um, I may put out an announcement, for example, if we have um, like weather events or something in my forecast for the day. I will put in a thing that says we have potential severe weather. Be sure to monitor YouTube for the latest updates. So that's kind of how I plan on doing that to combine the two. But yeah, I'm glad to be doing it again and getting the podcast back up and going. And by the way, my podcast is Ham Radio TV News. The Ham Radio TV is one word and then a space and then put news with the N being capitalized. And that will get you into my podcast so that you can listen to it. And like I said, be sure to set your notifications to on so that you will be alerted when a new podcast is issued and everything. So that's um, pretty much the basis for it. If you have any questions or if you would like to be on my podcast, reach out to me and I could make it happen for you. We could do a recording and everything and be able to get you on the podcast. And everything. I'm not sure what the audience limit is, but if it's myself and one other person, yeah, that would be great. We could talk about anything you would like to talk about, ham radio or weather. Uh, be sure to just reach out to me. Um, and, if you'd like to, communicate about something regarding that, um, be sure to reach out anytime and we'll be able to set that up for you. Um, hey, Tristan, glad to have you here. Yeah, um, yeah, glad to have you in the YouTube there. I just happened to see him pop up in the YouTube chat there, and everything. But yeah, the podcast is available again, so feel free to reach out if you would like to talk about anything related to ham radio in general. But thanks so much for watching and see y'all next time. 73.